place, and I exhibit character that is immediately recognized by a visitor and valued deeply by residents. And this is why I'm at the Mountaineer Stadium. I am a part of the history of West Virginia University, a place that is memorable and distinctive. Football is a huge part of Morgantown, and is in part how we are identified. Aristophanes and Strabo first described me over 2,000 years ago as giving a specific feeling towards a place. Aristophanes' sense of place consisted mostly of accurate knowledge of locations of places, while Strabo identified the origins of positivity and negativity in a place. It was this difference that led geographers to further speculation. I have changed the discipline of geography by creating an interest in studying the characteristics of a place that make it memorable and distinctive. Geographers were right to argue the thoughts and feelings that people have towards me are every bit as real and material as the places themselves. I have changed the world by contributing common sense and understanding to countless local changes in the world. I am the best geographic idea, and here is why. Without me, we would have nothing to identify ourselves with. The world would ultimately be a placeless landscape. Without me, spatial organization interdependencies would not be valid. I am one of the central terms of geography, and understanding how I develop and change is essential to understanding how people, places, and their environments are all interrelated at a local, regional, and global scale. Spatial organization refers to the relation between society and the physical environment and interdependence among these places at all geographic scales. Consequently, this starts with having a sense of me. It is an integral part of all of our environmental experiences, and it is only because we are first in these places that we can develop abstract arguments about the environment, economy, and politics. I am the most important geographic idea because I relate how we grasp what the world is like and how it is changing. Vote for me, place in 2012.
Hi, I'm Kyle Geigerich, and I support Sense of Place. You can count on Sense of Place. Sense of Place is what all of geography is made of. A megalopolis is a chain of roughly adjacent cities that are connected through a group of networks. So basically, a megalopolis is a group of different places that are nothing without the sense of place. I don't even like the term megalopolis because to me it's just a jumbled group of places that are trying to be one place. Without a sense of place, a megalopolis is nothing because you would not know what places are around you, close to you, and which makes the megalopolis. So please follow me and vote for the best candidate out there, Sense of Place, the backbone of geography.
Sure, predicting weather up to 10 days in advance can be impressive and useful, but is weather mapping always right and honest? Sense of Place provides for everyone and doesn't have the bad reputation that weather mapping does. Place doesn't always discriminate based on factors like literacy or location. I think Place is the most trustworthy candidate.
Sense of place is simply the shared properties of environments and locations and the experiences that are derived from those environments. Place also deals with spatial relationships, which are intrinsically human and part of human nature. Maps, whether they're constructed with sticks and stones or computer software, are tools utilized by humans to display intrinsic ideas. However, sense of place is not a tool, rather it is a function embedded to every individual. Sense of place allows us to create tangible connections with our surroundings. Maps are merely illustrations of spatial relationships as interpreted by their creators. Without a sense of place, maps would serve no functional purpose. Why do ancient Egyptian maps display locations of burial grounds or precious mineral mines? Why do modern-day energy companies create maps showing the locations of potential energy sources such as oil and coal? If no spatial relationship existed between burial grounds, mines, and sources of energy, there would be no need to illustrate them on a map.
Central place theory telling you the truth. Can you really believe the campaign promises? Is central place theory really the best choice and most important for you? What central place theory doesn't want you to know is a sense of place has been around and understood since antiquity. Ancient geographers such as Strabo of Amasia were noting sense of place far back as 2,000 years ago. Who would want to utilize, and according to Yifu Tuan, a sense of place is an effective bond between people and place. So consider this. Who would want to utilize central place theory if they didn't identify with their city? No one would care enough to care about no one would care about it enough to care about the layout of the city if they didn't have a sense of place. According to Shanley Wright and Thor, after Hurricane Katrina, a sense of place is what drew residents back to the destroyed Ninth Ward. It wasn't the prospect of being able to rebuild their city using central place theory as a means of rebuilding their neighborhood, but it was their sense of place. So if New Orleans' 9th Ward was able to come together and show their support for such a place, then so can you.
Place is an essential part of our understanding the environment, and it's because of place that we can really look into it and what it really, just becoming more aware of the environment around us. And it's really, place is the thread that holds us all together. And the human transformation of the world is really just a part of place. You know, without place, we really can't begin to understand how we have changed the world or influenced the world at all. It's because of place that we care to think critically about the world around us, the distinctiveness of it, and yeah, it's really the past and the present and the future of place that really defines us. That's it.
Place can be extremely significant when studying anything. There's a great deal of importance put on place. Just ask Dr. McNeil, a firm believer in place-based education. Understanding the value of any place is crucial. Getting a feel for the area is a #1 priority for place. When comparing place to a water budget, there is, well, what comparison? A water budget is just some fancy mathematical formula. Yes, a water budget is important, but the only reason it is important is because we have a place to apply it to. Continually modifying our sense of place can send a ripple effect through our environmental systems and then require close monitoring with water budgets. Keep it simple, do the right thing, and vote for place this election year.
Some of the other candidates for this year's Best Geographic Idea election might tell you that sense of place isn't the most important idea, but they're wrong. Our opponent, GIS, claims to be the most significant geographic idea, but how would they be able to create and analyze their maps without first acknowledging the significance of the places they're dealing with? The fact of the matter is that maps are specifically designed to show the locations of the features of a place, so geographic information can only be relevant to the specific places it is associated with. As a result, it is imperative that GIS users realize the significance of the places they are working with in order to delineate the implications of different geographic data. For example, census data for New York City would have much different implications for public health, safety, and transportation if it were associated with a place like Morgantown. It's impossible to use GIS and not get a sense of the place you are dealing with, because geographical data is meant to describe the unique characteristics of a place. Historical map data provides a sense of place by highlighting how features can persist in fixed locations throughout time, but how their attributes change independently due to factors that are unique to that place. In other words, GIS users get a sense of the place they are working with by analyzing how the people of an area manipulate their landscape over time. Ultimately, without a sense of place, you can't really know much about the data you're dealing with. So when this year's election is upon us, who will you trust? Place is the backbone of geography. Make the right choice.
I think human adjustment is concerned with a lot of non-geographic factors, like economy and government policy. It's such a minority of how humans interact and change the environment. And the risk of vulnerability is not what I want to see in a candidate. I mean, I think human adjustment is limited. It may not always be effective for its purpose, and therefore can be useless. Think of the PRT. It's meant to help students get around the traffic and get from campus to campus, but can you really count on it? Place may not always be constant, but it adapts to change.